folks. This here's the story of Pecos Bill, the wildest, bravest, foolhardiest cowpoke in the West. In fact, you could say Bill was the first cowpoke in the West. Let's start at the beginning, out in West Texas, with Bill's mile roar like a cornered cougar.
Found it, Pa! It's happened again! Take a look out there! Where? Beyond the river in the next valley. See that? I don't see a thing, Mom. It's kind of going up. Don't you get it, Pa? Home stairs. It's quiet. We're moving on.
But Mom, that must be part here 20 miles away.
Exactly! We got some nerve sound so close. Why do you think we headed west in the first place?
Can't it better do the sunset?
Oh, you get some privacy in that by running kids.
What are you saying, Mom? Thanks, Miss. Shake leg. Tomorrow you have to it. You for the fight. Bang, bang. Put your muscle into your muscle. Where's Bill? Bill!
Little Bill tottered out of his crib, grabbed a fishing pole, and was over at the pond catching himself a meso catfish. Not bad for a 2-year-old, eh?
Come on back, Bill, boy. We're heading west.
If there's one thing Mom couldn't stand, it was a slow, steady drip of civilization. And who could blame her? Stay in one place too long, and before you know it, your neck is high in an ocean of cities, states, railroads, and ranches.
Heads up before the Pecos River.
Yup, Mom, Pa, and the kids ran smack into the Pecos, a river that sideways through Texas like a wild rattlesnake. And just like that, Bill hooked a 2-ton Texas trout.
Woo-wee! It's beyond!
That fish swam Bill halfway to the Rio Grande. If Bill hadn't come up for air, he might still be trailing that trout. As for Bill's folks, what with being so preoccupied with crossing the river, why they didn't even know he was gone.
Mom? Pa?
Poor little fellow, to lose your family and a 2-ton trout on the same day, it was more than any 2-year-old could take. Then lo and behold, the first person to come along wasn't a person at all. It was a pack of coyotes. Naturally, they all had adopted little Bill and raised him as one of their own. You might say, Bill took to a coyote's life like a wheat takes to water. But with all the exercise, Bill grew to become their strongest, roaringest boy in all creation. Of course, as far as Bill knew, he was a full-blooded coyote. Bill didn't even know what a human was till some years later when one came wandering by. New silver dollar. So no pip time at all, he was stringing words together in complete sentences. It so happens the biggest, orneriest rattlesnake to ever slither through sagebrush was taking a siesta on a nearby boulder. And what with all the commotion, it woke up as mad as a rattlesnake. But that snake picked the wrong comrade to tangle with. Bill grabbed hold of the rattler and twisted it so tight, he wrung out every last drop of poison. By the time Bill was through, that reptile was just a long, thin piece of rattling snake rope. Pretty soon, the sun set, as it had a habit of doing in the west, and Pecos, Bill, and Chuck built a crackling campfire. Little did they know, the notorious bandana bandits were on the prowl.
Because it's what we do. Bandana bandits. I'm Sal. And I'm this Trevor. Super Trevor. School of Kingdom. Hand over your mother. Hey, you're not Deacon. Look. Rats. They're talented this morning. Maybe you should try another one. Here it is. Uncle Kansas.
Bill uncoiled his snake rope, made a loop, and let the rope fly. And like it had eyes, which it did, that rope landed around the neck of a lonely longhorn. Bill reeled it in just like a Texas trout. And that's how Pecos Bill invented the lasso. It wasn't long before Chuck and the bandana bandits got the hang of lassoing. In a week's time, they had rounded up half the longhorns in Texas. But before heading north, Bill said goodbye to the coyote pack that raised him from a pup. The bandana bandits were so touched that they began howling them off, and thus was born the first cowboy yodel. The howls and yodels of coyotes and cowboys soon gave way to 1,000 cows, milling their hearts out. Bill and his cowboys kept busy rounding up strays by day and singing the herd to sleep at night. But by the time they hit Oklahoma Panhandle, those cows were so parched, their cuds were like concrete. It was the worst drought the West had ever seen. When they reached the Kansas border, the herd was so skinny it looked more like beef jerky than cattle. The plain fact is, Bill's brain didn't know what his tongue was saying. One look at Slewfoot too, and he had fallen hard over boots in love.
I told you this cow driver comes from right there. Quick, here's the nearest bank. So Pecos to the road to Southern Hawaii cowboy in Hawaii. Strongest knowledge keeps jackrabbit. They see the coyote. The first I look at it, I'm so
thought nothing better than a challenge. He looked around and saw an opportunity on the horizon in the form of an ugly black cloud. Was it rain? No such luck.
Tornado! Never seen one that big.
Hey, Bill, where should we head, Bill? We got nowhere to turn.
The clouds will be flying sky high. Hold on. It's getting closer. Hold on, I got me an idea.
Sure as shooting, Bill lassoed that twister, jumped on its back, and left for a spin that took him from El Dorado to Wichita Falls.
Ooh, this is from one lucky Rocco.
Bill cinched up the lasso and pulled it tight, choking the rain right out of that twister. And down below, cows and cowboats and cans of delight lapped up the sweetest water they had ever tasted.
Woo-wee, is it wet?
Well, let's go back. Why not? We should just keep it there.
After 3 days of rain, the grass turned green, the cows got fat, and the bandits gave up bushwhacking for good. And that's the story of how Pecos Bill invented the cattle drive. As for him and Sloopa too, well, that's another story.
Well, some folks say about the big cities and highways, no lies to go far. But I say, Pecos Bill, stay with us. Wandering the land, wearing his favorite hat, and singing with the coyotes.
Okay, they did a great job, didn't they? I would like to introduce you to them so you know who you saw up here on this stage. When they're famous in the future, you can say you saw them when. Down at the end, down there, we have Logan Pollock. Logan, what did you do in the play? Yes, he helped the tornado look scary. Then we have Nick Heimbaugh,
Tornado and Baby Bill.
Abby Bird,
Not
Jaden Winings. What was that?
this.
Cactus. Derek Fink,
Copyright language.
Brandy Dom, Coyote, Robert Chase,
Hawk.
Anthony Ventura,
Blackjack.
Mitchell Meehan,
Tyrell Tower.
Cole Martelli,
Head.
Stephen Smith,
Big old good.
William Preston, Anthony Allegrady,
Coyote and cattle.
Natalia Pasqua, Tia Miller,
Coyote.
Isabel O'Donnell.
Coyote.
That's a vicious coyote pack right there. Xana Fulkerson
Super Sue.
and Devina Consiglio.
Area.
They did a great job. Can we give them another round of applause?